Hello, fabulous entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 317, which means you can find all the relevant links and show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/317. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you how to advertise without annoying people. So if you've ever worried that your emails, social media posts, and other forms of advertising are all in people's faces and getting a bit annoying, this is going to be a really helpful episode for you. Let's dive on in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart Centered Business Podcast. So this episode is born from some conversations I've been having with people in the last few months about marketing their products and services, and in particular, people who are launching online courses, group programs, and memberships. And the overriding theme that I am picking up from these conversations is that there is a worry. There's a worry that you're too promotey and that's totally a word, in your social media channels, or you're sending too many promotional emails, you're doing too much promotion, and it's starting to annoy your audience or your followers. Now, really, that worry is that you don't want to be like one of those marketers. And I don't need to tell you what one of those marketers is, I'm sure. But ultimately, we don't want to be too aggressive or be too spammy or annoy people with all of the talk about our new program or our membership that's closing or whatever it might be. But what can happen is we can be so worried about over promoting our products and services that we go all the way to the other end, right? We don't even tell people enough that we have a free workshop coming up. We don't tell people that the doors to something are closing. We share one or two posts here and there, but we don't actually give people a full enough opportunity to even know what's happening, when the deadline is, or what the opportunity is to work with you. So I have 5 little tips that are going to help you work out how to advertise without being annoying, and also just uncover some of the mindset stuff which may indicate that you don't have a problem in the first place to solve. You just need to realize that you are worthy of taking up space. Your audience actually want to hear from you, and you are doing your job in making sure everyone in your audience has the information and understanding that they need to make an informed decision about whether to jump in and buy your product or service. So tip number 1 comes from the amazing Meredith Kanan. And if you don't follow Meredith, please do. We'll link to her in the show notes. Meredith is in my Leverage and Launch program. And we were having a conversation about how many emails to send and how much promotion to do of her membership. And at that time in the call, I actually asked Meredith, I said, who is your favorite performer? And she said, Bon Jovi. And I said to her, well, if Bon Jovi came to your town and did a beautiful, amazing, intimate concert, and you found out afterwards that there were empty seats in the house and like a bunch of people didn't even go, like it was really quiet because he didn't want to bother you with his advertising, would you be glad that you weren't advertised to? Oh, what a relief, I didn't get spammed. Or would you be a bit peeved off that Bon Jovi didn't tell you he was coming to your town? Right? And that's the exact feeling and thought I want you to have about your audience. Your audience isn't seeing your promos and your posts on social media and rolling their eyes like, oh, she's advertising again, right? Your audience isn't seeing your emails come into their inbox and automatically deciding that you're intruding on their day. Your audience signed up to your mailing list because they were interested in achieving a goal that they think you can help them with. Your audience said follow to your Facebook page or follow you on Instagram because they think that your content is going to help them to achieve a goal that they think you can help them achieve. So you need to think of yourself not as the annoying guy who's standing at the sales kiosk in the middle of the shopping mall, who's harassing everyone as they walk past, because that's not who you are on social media. That's not who you are when you send emails. You need to think of yourself as Bon Jovi. You need to think of yourself as having something that people want, the transformation that you facilitate, and showing up and letting them know that there's an opportunity for them to see it right now or to be part of that right now. So number one is the Bon Jovi rule. Think of yourself not as the annoying salesperson. Think of yourself as the amazing superstar that you are. And remember that your audience have chosen to see your promotions. Your audience have chosen to receive your content. Your audience have asked to be told about the things that you're doing because they have a goal they want to achieve and you can help them get there. So you are not the annoying sales kiosk guy. You're the Bon Jovi. So that's number one, Bon Jovi rule. Number two, we need to remember that people see on average 1 out of 30 to 40 of your posts on social media. So the only person who has seen every post you've written, who has read every email that you have sent, is you. Your audience don't read every single one of your emails. You might have a dedicated few followers who read every single email of yours, but they're the ones who are the most likely to stay subscribed, least likely to be upset about you sending them emails, right? They love you. They want your emails. They open every single one of them. So the people who don't open all of your emails have not opened all of your emails. So they don't think that you're spamming them. And so instead of looking at the content that you share or the emails that you've sent or the promotions that you've done through the lens of your eyes, i.e. the person who's seen every single one of them, we also need to remember that most of our audience have seen a very small proportion of what it is that we've shared. So your job is not to decide that 6 promotional emails over the course of 3 weeks is too many because they're, all 6 emails, they're all talking about the same program. Your job is to remember that most people will only read 2, maybe 3 of those emails. And so instead of looking at everything through your lens, i.e. the person who created all of the content, you need to look at it through the audience lens. And if I miss one email and therefore I miss out on an amazing opportunity to work with you or an amazing free workshop that you're running or an amazing product that you're promoting, I would be a bit cranky that I only had one chance. One chance. It's the only chance I had. And I missed it because I didn't open every single email that you sent me. So remember that not everyone opens everything, not everyone sees everything, and we need to give the majority of your audience appropriate chances to be able to have caught the news that you're promoting something, you're in the launch of something, you're running a free something, you've got something to offer them, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is don't copy paste everything, right? So if you do send the same email to your mailing list every single day for 30 days, I can understand why people might assume, well, that's being a little bit annoying, right? It is annoying. It is annoying to receive the same email over and over and over again. Similarly, it's annoying to see the same post over and over and over and over again. And on social media, part of the algorithm is that repeat content, copy-paste content, doesn't get shown as regularly to people and it has its reach reduced for that very reason. We don't want to see the same stuff over and over and over again. So when you do create your promotion schedule, your social media plan, right, that email sequence that you send to promote your product or service, then make sure that each piece of content approaches it from a slightly different angle. Highlight different parts of your value proposition, not the same 3 things in your value proposition every single time. I work with a lot of people who they've been taught that you have like 3 bullet points that you promote, and every single promo has those same 3 bullet points. Every single email has those same 3 bullet points. The sales page, 3 bullet points. The thank you email, 3 bullet points, right? But actually, that is missing out on some amazing opportunities to talk about the same big outcome, but through slightly different angles. So for example, some people love my takeoff program because of the high touch mentoring that they get. That's one of the big parts of the value proposition, is having my eyes on your business and your messaging and your copy, so you get feedback, so you can create really resonant messaging that makes sense to your audience. But for some people, the big value proposition for them in the Takeoff program is having step-by-step instructions on how to grow a following on social media. For some people, they really want to learn sales skills and sales strategy. For others, they want to learn from me because they know all of the marketing and sales strategy I teach is deeply based on consent, and it is aligned to selling with integrity. So I don't want every single promo to have to talk to every single one of those value proposition pieces. Instead, I create a social media plan and an email sequence that touches on different elements and components of the value proposition in different ways. And of course, yes, there are going to be some key ones that are the most important that would be mentioned most of the time, but it allows me that creative license to then create my content, my emails, and my promotions through those different lenses. So I'm speaking to different selling points each time. That means no one is seeing the exact same stuff over and over and over again. So those different angles and those different elements of your value proposition mean that it doesn't sound like you're just throwing out the same stuff over and over and over again. Number 4 is when you build your marketing approach, your advertising strategies, your content on consent-driven practice, it means that you are reducing the likelihood that someone is seeing a promotion for something that they don't want. So, for example, in the launch structure that I teach and that I help my clients with, we use lead magnets, live lead magnets, to get people to lean in first before we present them with the offer. Now, the reason why we do that is twofold. One, there are people in your audience for whom the thing that you're promoting right now is not their priority. So I'm about to roll into a promotion of my Leverage and Launch program. It teaches people who already have baseline income how to scale up that income with leveraged products, such as courses, memberships, masterminds, and high-touch group programs. So, but there's a portion of my audience who are still in startup. They haven't got to that stage of their business yet. So rather than just push this program to every single person in my audience, every single person on my list, I will be running some live masterclasses for people who want to now step into leveraging their time and creating launches and creating group programs. And so on those live masterclasses, the people who are there are the ones who are most likely to be interested in the Leverage and Launch program. And that's where I will pitch them the Leverage and Launch program. And I do it in a really consent-driven way where I'm not forcing people to jump through hoops. I'm not tricking people to come to the masterclass. I'm not misleading my audience in any way. I know that a huge portion of the people who come to those masterclasses are going to be the right fit for Leverage and Launch. And I invite them to take a step forward. So they take one step forward by coming to the masterclass. On the masterclass, I'll let them know how to go and find out about the program. They'll take another step forward and check it out. And then if they're ready to buy, they can just buy it. If they're not ready to buy, they can ask me questions. If they need to jump on a call with me, they can, right? So at every step of the way, I'm not pushing them down the funnel. I'm inviting them to take the next step forward. I'm inviting them to check out the next piece. I'm inviting them to look at it. And all I'm doing is presenting them with the information they need to make an informed decision. I'm not guilt tripping them to buy because they owe me something, using you owe me language. I'm not giving them two-choice theory where it's like either you buy the program and succeed or you don't buy the program and you fail. I'm not creating false scarcity, right? I'm not pretending that there's only 30 spaces available when actually I would take 100 people into the program, right? So because my launch is built deeply based on consent, I can be confident that the majority of the people who see the messaging, who get the promos, who hear about the program, have leaned in some way and are likely to be interested in it. And if they're not interested in it, if it's not the right fit for them right now, they're not going to be subjected to 17 emails in 4 days. They can opt out of hearing about it. They can like scroll past the posts on social media, they can, like most people who are in those early stages of startup won't even sign up to the masterclass. So for me, that creates that sense of confidence that the people I'm speaking to about the program are qualified leads. They actually are interested in the outcome that I'm helping them to achieve, which is to create and launch a group program or a membership. So using consent-based marketing practice, you will consistently feel more and more confident in your ability to show up and advertise without annoying people, because you know the people who are hearing it are the ones who are most interested. So it's also a really great way to just build your confidence in that process. And then the final tip that I have for you to make sure you're not annoying people when you're launching is to map out your plan in advance, right? So if you are, whether you're promoting a one-to-one service, or you are launching a group program, or you're going for a special offer for a discount at the moment, or you're doing a flash sale for your birthday, whatever the promotion is that you are currently doing, I would recommend that you map out how you're going to promote it in advance, because then you can see from the big picture that it's not overwhelming and you're just constantly talking at people and you're spamming people. You can see what the plan is, rather than in the middle of the launch deciding, oh, can I send an email today? Well, I sent one yesterday and I sent one 2 days ago, so is today too many? Instead, you can look at the big picture and see how they all flow together, and then make a decision before you send all of those emails, before you start on the launch process, about what feels appropriate for your audience. So I have a launch email sequence that I use as a pretty standard set of emails in terms of how often I send and which emails I send. And that is based on what I think is enough emails to make sure the majority of people can make an informed decision, but no more than that, because I don't want to over spam my audience about something that they might not be interested in. So in a launch, so for example, in the leverage and launch that you as an audience member of mine is likely going to see over the next couple of months, I'm running 2 masterclasses, and the people who sign up for the masterclasses will get 4 emails after the first one and 3 emails after the second one. And my entire mailing list will hear about the masterclasses and leverage and launch once each. So they'll get 1 promo email for the first masterclass and 1 promo email for leverage and launch before the price goes up, because it's going up from $2,000 to $3,000 in this launch. And then they'll get 1 promo email about the second masterclass, and they'll get 1 promo when the doors to leverage and launch are closing for this round. That's it. So if you're on my full list, right, if you're one of my subscribers, you'll get 4 emails. 2 of them will be about a free training, and 2 of them will be about leverage and launch. But if you opt into one of those free trainings, you'll get an additional 2 or 3 emails just to give you a bit more information about leverage and launch, because clearly it might be the right fit for you right now. So when you've got it all planned out in advance, all of a sudden you realize, wow, it's not that overwhelming. It's not that big a deal. Right? And it's spaced out really nicely, so people don't feel like they're being completely bombarded by a bunch of emails. So the combination of tip number 4, using consent-based practice, and consent-based practice includes being reasonable about the number of emails that you send people. And number 5, having a plan in advance so you can map it all out and see the big picture of how often and how much you're going to be promoting this thing. You will be able to see that you've got and test whether you are comfortable with that level of promotion. And in most cases, if you are one of the people who were drawn to this podcast episode because you are worried about how to advertise without annoying people, you're not one of the people who's annoying people, right? People who worry about these things generally are the ones who are sending too few emails, are the ones who are doing too few promo posts. So I want you to, number 1, reassure yourself you're not the spammy sales guy, you're the Bon Jovi. Number 2, remember that your audience don't see everything that you send. Number 3, give yourself an opportunity to approach it from different angles so people aren't seeing the exact same content over and over again. Number 4, use consent-based practice. Therefore, the people who see the most content about it are the ones who are leaning in because they actually want to see the most content about it. And number 5, map your plan out in advance so that you can look at it from a big picture perspective rather than being right in the middle of it. And you've just sent an email 2 days ago, and now you want to send an email again today. And it's like you're right in the midst of it. So you've seen everything that you've done so far, and you can't get that helicopter view of what your launch promotion strategy looks like. So it feels like it's too much. Yeah. So hopefully you found those 5 strategies really helpful. If you have any questions about them, of course, please do get in touch. I'm encouraging people to slide into my DMs on Instagram at the moment, because I'm spending a little bit more time on Instagram, and I'm loving some of the conversations we're having in the DM. So I'm at Tash Corbin on Instagram. Come and say hello over there. Send me a little DM if you've got any follow-up questions. Just remind me that you're listening to episode 317. And let me know if you've got any questions. And also do keep an eye out if you are looking at how to map out launch plans and email sequences and all those sorts of things. Make sure you keep an eye out on your inbox. Hopefully you're a subscriber over the next couple of weeks, because I will be running those masterclasses absolutely free. And in them, I'm going to be talking more about launch planning, leveraging your time, and some of those bigger concepts when it's time to get into selling one to many. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep an eye on your inbox for those, because they'll be coming at you very soon. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Big love from me, and bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.